Please welcome Susan K. Friedland.
I am so honored to have all of you here today. It means so much to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every one of you, for coming out today, for being here, for supporting me. Not just supporting me, but supporting my entire family. I really appreciate your friendship, and just thank you. I am Susan K. Friedland, fine art photographer. When I was a little girl, growing up in Savannah, Georgia, I said that I loved horses so much that I wished I could be a horse. My father, a dentist in Savannah, Georgia, told his patients, "My daughter talks to horses." I did then, and I still do. I also said when I grow up, I want to be an artist. I loved the wonderful world of color. The live oak trees in Savannah dripping with Spanish moss, the peaceful marshes, brightly painted shrimp boats, and the gray cobblestone streets captured my eyes and my imagination while I was growing up. I drew horses and took classes at the Telfair Art Academy, as well as every art class offered in school. In fact, I never learned how to type because I just took art classes, so I have to rely on my wonderful husband, Lance, to type everything for me. Both of my parents were artists. My mother, Gloria, danced and acted in local theater, and my dad made silver jewelry, stained glass, and metal art, as well as practicing the dental arts. They taught me the importance of supporting local artists by buying their works and hanging them in their home and office. I have truly come to understand how much that means to an artist. Most of the photographs that you are going to see in this show today, in the Borderlands Gallery, and in the gift shop gallery are for sale. And in fact, conveniently located on your tables are sticky notes and pens, and when you see these photographs and you read the titles, if there's one you like, please feel free to jot it down. My other mother, Barbara Gold, and her husband, Burton Gold, also taught me about appreciating contemporary art and its value. Also important in my early years in Savannah was the beautiful and historic Mikveh Israel Synagogue. Its architecture and its stained glass windows have called me back to photograph them many years later. I was married there. The Savannah Science Museum was a huge part of my life in Savannah. There I helped care for small wild animals, I helped design exhibits, took backpacking classes, and gained an appreciation for the flora and fauna of Georgia and the barrier islands off the coast. I was the youngest member of the Savannah Science Museum Board of Trustees as a teenager. Camp Barney Meadows in Cleveland, Georgia was where I spent summers. Beautiful lakes, the pine trees, the creeks, the mountains, nearby Tallulah Gorge and Anaruby Falls. It was here that I met Lance, who was to become my husband and my muse. The beauty of North Georgia, again, inspired me. In the years before I left Savannah, my parents took me to visit relatives and friends in tropical Miami, in the Big Apple, New York City, the Green Mountains of Vermont, Sanibel Island, Florida, and later to Nova Scotia, Canada. My father was a collector of driftwood, of shells, rocks, and anything pertaining to ships, which fascinated him. He had worked in the Brooklyn Navy Yards as a teenager. Family friend Philip Sarath from Lebanon was a dental lab technician who worked with my dad and a talented watercolorist. He was one of my first artistic mentors. Philip taught me to see beauty in common objects and things that other people had cast aside. He took my family on drives into rural areas around Savannah to meet the families and see the humble settings that were the subjects of many of his paintings. My mom always brought picnics to share on these outings, frequently baked chicken she had made for our Friday night dinners. And I do have to say here, the spaghetti that you are all enjoying today, made by these wonderful, wonderful folks here at the booth, reminds me of my mom. And I remember how much I loved her spaghetti and meat sauce, and it's just a very fond memory for me, and how apropos that they happen to be serving spaghetti today. My international exposure came from the officers of the immense cargo ships that went up and down the Savannah River and docked in Savannah from all over the world. These officers would come to my dad's office with a toothache, and soon they would be sitting in our living room telling us about their countries. They gave my family gifts of art and crafts from those countries. My parents were fascinated with the art of Native Americans and the journeys of Lewis and Clark. They admired the strength and fortitude of both groups of people. Perhaps in a way, that led me to be here at the Booth Western Art Museum today. I woke up this morning and I also remembered my father-in-law, Ivan Friedland, we called the sheriff. I left Savannah at the age of 17 to attend Oberlin College in Oberlin, Ohio, where I majored in studio art, focusing on sculpture and printmaking. I spent my junior year abroad at the University of Georgia, and there had the opportunity to study photography under the superb eye of Dr. W. Robert Nix. Dr. Nix considered himself just a classroom teacher, but he was so much more. Dr. Nix inspired not only me, but also Jeff Donaldson, the chief curator of this fine museum, Lisa Wheeler, the education director here, and Cheryl Kennedy, who is our technology expert today, who also attended Georgia in their School of Broadcast, Radio, TV, and Journalism. And she helped me, by the way, tremendously put this talk together. Thank you, thank you. I graduated from Oberlin College certified to teach art and ready to take on the world. Oberlin had given me my appreciation for contemporary art. Claus Oldenburg's giant outdoor sculpture of a three-way plug was on our campus. Oberlin had also given me the passion to fight for what I believed in. I continued with graduate classes at the Massachusetts College of Art and later what was at that time the Atlanta College of Art. I was married the summer after I graduated college to the man who was to become Dr. Lance B. Friedland. We honeymooned in San Francisco and Yosemite National Park, Ansel Adams' favorite spot. At the end of our honeymoon, we went horseback riding with friends. My horse, who I had never ridden before, ran away with me, and I was thrown. My life and its path were about to dramatically change. Out of every crisis comes an opportunity. My eye was badly damaged in the accident, and my wonderful doctors here in Atlanta could not promise me that my vision would ever be restored to 100%. I prayed a lot. After 6 or 7 months, I had recovered sufficiently to work. The first art teaching job that materialized presented me with a question, with a challenge. Can you teach photography? I needed that job, and I said, yes, I can. I taught photography for the next 10 years, and as you know, when you teach someone something, you learn yourself. They ask you questions. Maybe you don't know the answers. You go find out the answers. 26 years ago, Lance and I started our family. Our son, who is almost 26, lives in New York City, Sam. Our wonderful son Dave is 22, and now he also lives in New York City. And our wonderful daughter Mariah is a freshman at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, where she is riding on their first ever NCAA equestrian team, Horses Forever. And now on with the show. Again, thank you, Seth, for this opportunity to show my work and talk with everyone today. Thank you to Jeff Donaldson, the head curator here. His insights and his creativity and his artistic genius inspired me and brought the show together in ways that were unimaginable to me. Thank you to the docents here at the booth, the staff, the receptionists. Everyone has been so helpful. The gallery staff, the gift shop staff, the people who worked in the food service area. Thank you, thank you. India Cooper, my assistant, Danielle Kaiser, my artistic assistant, Dale Minshew, Eric King, who is incredibly talented and fabulous in his own right, the framers at Thompson's Frame and Gallery. It takes a village to pull together an exhibition like this. Give me your tired. You're poor. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. The homeless, tempest-tossed, send them to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. This quote is part of a very famous quotation by Emma Lazarus, and it is on the wall at the Statue of Liberty and is immortalized there. What inspired me to create the sculpture in the Borderlands Gallery entitled, I Lift My Lamp Beside the Golden Door? You may say I'm a dreamer. Imagine. My grandmother Jenny once stood beside the golden door. She had traveled by ship totally by herself at the age of 16. She spoke no English, and she did not read or write English. Many of you also most likely have family members who came to America seeking freedom. They were determined, they were strong, they were brave. My sculpture represents my interpretation of a true American, ready to jump onto her Harley or her horse and travel across this magnificent country of ours. Santa Fe, New Mexico, Wyoming, North Carolina, Central Park in New York City, Wyoming, Savannah, Georgia, San Francisco, California, Sanibel Island, Florida, our very own Atlanta, Georgia, Virginia, the Grand Canyon in Arizona, Montana, Canton, Georgia. North Carolina. We are truly blessed here in the United States of America. And so, to create a tribute to our country and all it stands for, and with my photographic subject matter, I began the search for a mannequin representing every woman, every person. I have photographed mannequins for many, many years. They don't move, and I don't have to ask them to sign a release form. This makes it very easy. Although I have been asked by many retail stores to leave because I think that they think I'm trying to steal their fashion ideas. I'm not exactly sure. The search for a door. These searches led me thither and yon, through flea markets, through internet sites. It's amazing what you can find in a flea market. I had to decide if the door was going to hang on the wall. Should it be a hollow door? Should it be a solid door? There were lots of things going through my mind in this artistic decision. My husband, Lance, of 34 years, truly deserves my thanks here. He participated in every aspect of this search, as well as giving his artistic advice at many critical moments. What should our all-American mannequin wear? Coca-Cola. We're in Atlanta. Her hat in this photograph says Coca-Cola in Japanese, and I purchased the hat at the Coca-Cola Museum here in Atlanta. She's tough, just as our foremothers were. A black leather Harley-Davidson jacket seemed like that would be right. She's wearing winter horseback riding boots. But she also has a very soft, compassionate side. She's wearing lace. She has the American flag close to her heart under her leather jacket. She's strong, she's tough, she's bad, but she's got a heart. My mother's wedding dress. A French mannequin photographed in Kennebunkport, Maine. Elegant. She was to be as a living statue. This photograph was actually taken in New Orleans, Louisiana, and there are Valentine cards for each and every one of you on your tables, and the photograph which is on the Valentine is a photograph that I took in New Orleans, Louisiana. Please be sure you pick up one of those Valentines, and the folks that put together the beautiful, beautiful centerpiece at the food table incorporated a Mardi Gras colored feather boa. So they too are picking up on the fact that Mardi Gras is coming up very shortly. Things got a little bit chaotic around this time. Ideas were just coming to me and coming to me and coming to me, and then I would have a conversation with somebody and they would suggest something and I would say, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's work with that and work with that and work with that, and I'd start to go down one path and then I would pull back. The hair of the mannequin in this sculpture became a collage in and of itself. There is a Rottweiler a toy Rottweiler in her hair. Darth Vader is in her hair. There is a knife in her hair. There is a snake skin. Do you think she skinned that snake herself? The Force was with her. Collage has been an art form I have gravitated towards since I was in my teens. And when you look at the shadow boxes in the Borderlands Gallery, you will see evidence of this. Objects grouped together with a theme, real or imagined. Now here's this door, and I'm going into the collage, and I'm working on this, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm pulling photographs, and I'm collecting objects, and it's golden, and we're painting the door. And then all of a sudden I said, the door is beautiful, simply golden. We don't need a collage here. There's enough going on in my other collages, and I completely backed off of the idea of creating a collage on the door. The way an artist's mind works. I do love collecting stuff, I will tell you that. It's a little bit of a problem. I said, keep it simple, Susan, Kiss. The golden door was done. And I said, okay, take a rest. Lance said, thank God. I added a suitcase. My grandmother used to arrive when she would come to visit us with her bundles wrapped in strings and bound with tape. And she always traveled with her bundles. Usually she brought food. I think she was afraid that somehow she would run out of food on the journey coming from New York down to Savannah. And then it was complete. The clothes on her back, one small valise, the collage, the knife intertwined in her hair, and the whole United States of America stretching in front of her. A symbol to all of us that we are all powerful and strong people, and we can accomplish anything if we set our minds to it. The Borderlands Gallery, the show, will be up until April the 6th. If you have friends that weren't able to come out today, please let them know that it will be up until April the 6th. And again, I thank you all so much for coming out today. Please enjoy. We will continue, I believe, in the Borderlands Gallery with a gallery tour. And then, of course, please enjoy this magnificent museum.
Thank you very much, Susan. Very inspiring.